Okay, so what I want to talk about right now is, first of all, just to let you know, I have not attended any of the Protestant churches whatsoever, none of them. I have never attended Catholic church either. So what I found out, I knew about the little round discs that the Catholics use for their so-called sacrament. But I decided yesterday that I was going to look up sacrament bread on Google. And what I found was astonishing. I'm shocked. I'm shocked at the blatant and brazen flouting of the rejection of the truth concerning the days of unleavened bread, the Passover. First of all, the Passover can never be timed on the Roman calendar. Okay, this was it can only be timed on the Hebrew calendar. The days of unleavened bread can only be timed on the Hebrew calendar, not on the Roman calendar, not on the Gregorian calendar. Okay? So this is the first, I'm not going to call it a mistake. This was deliberate. This was the first rebellion done by Constantine and the people after him. They changed the days, just like it was written about in, I believe it was Daniel the prophet. Then I see this bread. You call this unleavened bread? Really? And of course, the Catholics' little flatbread is little disc with the mark of the beast on it on one side, and what is that on the other side? A goat? Really? And of course, they eat it straight up. The bread is not broken. So, the churches are using leavened bread and unbroken bread. Amazing. Let us go to some of Paul's writings concerning the immoral brother. 1 Corinthians 5. It is reportedly, verse 1, it is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication that is not even found among the unbelievers, that one should have his father's wife, and you are puffed up, and have not rather mourned that he has done this deed might be taken away from among you. For verily, as absent in body, but present in spirit, I have judged the matter already, as though I were present concerning him that has done this deed. In the name of our Master Yeshua Messiah, when you are gathered together, and my spirit, with the power of our Master Yeshua Messiah, to deliver such a one to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit might be saved in the day of Messiah, or the Messianic era. Your glorying is not good. What's he saying? Them tolerating this kind of behavior is not good. You know that a little leaven leavens the whole lump. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that you may be a new lump, as you are unleavened. For even Messiah, our Passover, is sacrificed for us, is unleavened. Therefore, let us keep the feast. The feast of what? Not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. So he's talking about the Passover and the feast of unleavened bread. Now, what he has pointed out is that the Corinthian church were being poisoned with a leaven of fornication, as the churches have even worse have done today, inviting homosexuals in and even claiming to marry them. Now, all the while, they are doing this sacrament instead of Passover on days that are designed, or on feasts that are designed to give glory to the sun god. Unbroken bread, leavened bread. All you got to do is take a look. You don't look at it yourself. Look up sacrament bread on Google. I'm shocked. Really? Have Christians really gone this far into rebellion? I'm in disbelief, to be honest with you. So let us look at Luke 22, okay? And I'm going to read some things to you that you Christians simply will not believe. Okay? The Last Supper, right? Luke 22 and verse 7. And when the day of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be killed, that's the 14th day of the 14th day of the first month. I believe that is correct. And he said, and he sent Peter and John, saying, Go prepare us the Passover, that we may eat. And they said unto him, Where will you that we prepare? And he said unto them, Behold, when you are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him to the house where he enters. And you shall say unto the good man of the house, The master has said unto me, Where is the guest chamber where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples? And he shall show you the large upper room furnished. There make ready. And they went and found out that he had said unto them that they made ready the Passover. Verse 14, and when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him. Who did these 12 apostles represent? Notice Paul wasn't there, because there was no apostle to the Gentiles yet. Listen carefully, folks. And he said unto them, With desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of Jehovah. And he took the cup, and he gave thanks. And then he said, Divide this among yourselves. For I say to you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of Jehovah come. And he took the bread and gave thanks and broke it. It's unleavened bread, and he broke it. Not sliced, not puffed up bread, but broken. And he gave them likewise and said, This is my body, a broken body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Likewise also the cup after supper, saying, This cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is shed for you. But behold, the man of him that betrays me is with me on the table. Of course, that was Yehuda Iscariot. and he represented the tribe of Yehuda or Judah. But guess what? You read in the book of Acts that Matthew, or Mattheyahu, is how his name is supposed to be said, took Judah's place. So, once again, Judah, the Jews, have an apostle. All right? All right, so now, the apostles have an argument, right? Verse 24, and there was strife among them, of which should be accounted the greatest. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over their subjects, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But you shall not be this way. But he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is the chief as one who is the server or the waiter. For whether is greater, he that sits at the table, or he that sits at meat, or he that serves? Or, so he's saying, who is greater, the one who sits at the table or the one who serves at the table? The server. Isn't it not the one who sits at meat, the one who is dining? Because, you see, the waiter asks him what he wants, and he brings it to him. So the one who sits at the table is greater than the server. But I am among you who that is the server, the waiter. You are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom like my Father appointed to me. Did you hear what Yeshua Messiah said to the 12 apostles? He appoints them the kingdom, each a kingdom. Each one of them has a different kingdom. What kingdom? That you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So each one of the apostles will be judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So that there are only 12 apostles for Israel, and only those 12. There are no more. I don't care what the Mormon church says. I don't care what the guy at the Vatican says. There are no more. Those 12 are the only 12 apostles for the tribes of Israel. But now check this out. They drank what symbolized the blood of the Messiah. Now think about this for a minute. And they represent now each one of the tribes of Israel. Now, for them to have done that, that does bring Israel into the fold when the Messianic era comes. The Messianic era comes when the day of Jehovah's wrath comes upon the Gentiles. Now, your preacher never told you that, did he? You may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And that is how Israel is going to wash their robes with the blood of the Lamb. Folks, through the 12 apostles of Israel as their representatives. Now, Matthew 10 verse 6, what does he tell the apostles? What is their mission? The 12 apostles. Verse 1, and when he called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness. And he mentions their names. And number 4, Simon the Canaanite is not a Canaanite. It was Simon the Cananian, which means he was a Jew living in Lebanon at the time before he was brought into the discipleship. Lebanon is just a stone's throw away from northern Israel. Verse 5, these 12 Yeshua sent forth and commanded them, saying, do not go in the way of the Gentiles, and to any cities of the Samaritans enter you not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and heal the sick, and to cleanse the lepers, and raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely you have received, freely give. In other words, you don't take payment. Now, so he sent them to none other but than the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And the 12 apostles, they will have kingdoms. Each one of them have a kingdom over each one of the tribes of Israel. It is not what your preacher told you. New Jerusalem. Let's see. All right. So John meets with one of the 7 angels, and he carried, verse 10, and he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven, having the glory of Jehovah, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and it had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates. And you could only go through one of those gates. What are the 12 gates? And at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, and which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. You see, folks, this is what the Christians today are rebelling against. In their sacrament, in their religious services, in their holidays, and in their utter and complete contempt for the kingdom that will serve, that will judge the 12 tribes of Israel. Utter and complete contempt and rebellion. Such a shame, because it appears that this day of wrath is right upon us. I will talk about that some more, about more evidence that the day of wrath is almost upon us in coming videos.